Can we start with Michael Dawson, the latest on him, and how big a blow will it be to lose him for a period?
Well, it's always a blow. We lost the army yesterday too. He reported a thigh, which will probably keep him up for another 10 days, I suppose, as well. So of course, when you lose somebody like Dawson or Diami or whatever, then it's always a blow. We hope to have them back in a couple of weeks, and we'll see how they go from there. We don't think it's either of them are too serious.
A lot to do now to achieve automatic promotion.
Well, I think if we're going to be honest, I think that's gone. We've had an awful run just at the right time. We'll never give up. We'll never give up, of course. But we've had an awful run just at the wrong time, which has disappointed us all. But we've got to try and find back a bit of form. And we've got 5-6 league games to secure a playoff position. I think that's got to be the next thing on the agenda. And find a bit of form and go into the playoffs.
Is there a fear that the playoff place could slip?
Well, it's not a fear. It's not a fear, but to be honest, we've got to win a few games, and we've found that difficult over the last 6 weeks, where the previous 7 months have been terrific, and we've lost a bit of form at the wrong time. There's no disputing that. However, we've got to try and rediscover it. So we've got another game tomorrow, and get back to winning ways. Once you get back to winning ways, as we've seen, it happens with we've just seen Barcelona go out the Champions League. They haven't won in 4. It just shows you, it can happen to anybody.
Do you think it is a confidence issue?
Well, certainly when you don't get results, it chips away at confidence. But that's football, It's very rare that you go through a season where you don't go through a period where what we're going through at the moment. And then you've got to try and refine your confidence by doing the basics right. And I think that's what we have to address. That's what we have addressed all week, and get back to the basics that made us a very good team.
Abel Hernandez back on the score sheet last weekend. How significant?
Well, that's a help, of course, because as I've said all year, really, we can't just keep relying on Abel to score us a goal. And of course, our running form coincides with Abel not being able to score. So, we've relied heavily on his goals. He's had a great return, and hopefully now, that the couple of weeks rest that he had, hopefully for the rest of the season, we'll keep him fresh and score us the goal, which always helps.
You played first this weekend. Could that be an advantage in terms of keeping it?
Well, it hasn't been whether we've played first or second. Whether we played first, second or third, it hasn't made a jot. So whether we play first and we win, we've got to get back to, as I said, winning a few games and get that confidence back, and hopefully that confidence can take us into the playoffs with a bit of a bounce, because we're probably the only team in the top 6 who's disappointed to be in the top 6. We're disappointed that we've let Brighton and Burnley and Middlesbrough get away from us. Totally disappointed. There's no disputing that. But we've got to get our head around the fact that, okay, that's gone, but it's not over. We've still got an outstanding chance, and we've got to see the job through.
You changed the system last week. Is it a case of trying different things at the moment to try and find...
Well, I wouldn't have wanted to, but we've gone back to a system which has served us well over the past. We've gone away from that system this year because I do believe, the onus was on us, especially at home. So I just tried to do something a little bit different to see if that would pay off in a lot of respects, in terms of goals and sort of chances we created. But defensively, we weren't quite right. Hence, we've conceded 2 goals. So it's something that we'll look at again and see where we go.
4 of the last 6 are at home. Is that really important in terms of building momentum?
Well, home form has been key to us all season. We've got a terrific home record, and hopefully that will continue. And as I said, cement our place and get a few victories, which will stand us in good stead for the obviously playoffs, which of course is a bit of a lottery, but one we'll have to look forward to.
And finally from me, Wolves, they've been a tough nut to crack in recent weeks.
Well, I've got hugest respect for Kenny, and he's done a marvellous job at Wolves, and it just shows you that it's not a given. We think we're a given that we've got to get automatic promotion out of this division. When you see a club like Wolves, who are mid-table, and how difficult it is. But in the difficult circumstances, Kenny's done a really good job. They'll be well organised and well up for it. And that is the championship. You know, it's so unpredictable and so tough. But it's another opportunity for us where we've got to, as I said before, we've got to try and get back to winning ways.
Is Harry fit to replace Michael Dawson?
Harry's fit and Alex is fit, yes.
And you choose between the two of them then, do you?
Well, last week I played 3. last week I
What's in your thoughts?
What's in my thoughts? Probably to go back to a 2. Because we're at home. But as I said, I wasn't quite happy with us last week, the way we were. So, as I said, we've worked all week on trying to do the basics right again. You know, we had the best defensive record, and we probably still have, just in the league, and we've something to be proud of. And we've conceded 6 in the last 2 games, so we have to address that to start with before we have any chance of winning any game.
Moses straight back in?
Yes.